September 20th, 7 p.m. Go ahead.
In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10-4-10, and the regulation governing remote meetings, NJAC 539-1.5, I hereby announce that adequate notice and electronic notice of this meeting was provided in a notice dated January 14, 2023, that was sent to the Asbury Park Press, 2 River Times, posted on the bulletin board, and on the main access door to Town Hall. Filed in the clerk's office and posted on the township's website, www.holmdeltownship.com.
Roll call.
Dr. Blumenthal?
Here.
Mr. Burkle?
Here.
Ms. Campus?
Here.
Ms. Gerhart?
Here.
Dr. Lateef?
Here.
Mr. Luciani?
Here.
Mr. Ofanatopoulos?
Here.
Mr. Campolo?
Here.
Dr. Shah? Dr. Shah is absent.
Okay, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment silent for our military, police, and first responders. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item number 1, please.
Zoning Board of Adjustment 2023-9, Nicole Birch, 13 Crescent Road, Block 45, Lot 13, R15 zone. Applicant seeks bulk variance relief to construct a covered front porch within the front yard setback. Porch will be 30 feet where 40 feet is required.
Hi, welcome.
Hi.
Before we get started, our attorney will just,
We're going to swear him in first. So,
yeah, that's what I mean.
Ms. Birch, I assume?
Yes.
And this is your witness? Okay, if you both
Yes.
raise your right hand, do you swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Okay, just for the record, you're both sworn in, everything's in order with escrows and
Yes.
notices and stuff? Conflict?
Any conflict? Do you know anybody here, or does anybody know the applicants on the board? No conflicts with anybody?
And if you could just spell your name for the record and your position.
It's Brian Brzezinskis, Berzinskis. I'm a licensed architect in the state of New Jersey.
Okay. You want to,
So we're here for a front yard setback.
Yep.
Right? So just for a quick clarification, you have to prove that there's a hardship related to the property, the structures on the property, and whether it's the narrowness of the lot or the shallowness of the lot, or by reasons of the structures that are on that lot that already exist, or some other extraordinary or exceptional situation that's unique to your lot. And then you can also prove that there's no detriment to the the zone plan or the zoning ordinance. That's the negative criteria. So I think you probably have that you hand out, so you have a little sheet that you were given at some point that kind of goes into a little bit more detail of the proof, but it's up to you to put those proofs on the record and your witness. So at this point, with the chair's approval, I would suggest that maybe you go ahead and start. Just introduce your application, what you're trying to do, describe your property, and then, when your architect's ready.
do we need to qualify him?
We'll qualify him when he's ready and get him
Okay.
ready. So,
So I'm
ahead.
Nikki Birch. I grew
Just,
up in,
sorry, just make sure is the red light on?
yes. Nikki Birch. I grew up in Hazlet. I really always wanted to have a house in Holmdel. My husband and I came here, visited. Literally, this is the first property we saw and fell in love with it. It was an estate, so it did need a lot of work. Over the years, we've been working to do some work on the inside, and we're really hoping to do some work on the outside. You'll see pictures of it. It's not the prettiest on the outside. We've had a lot of turnover in our neighborhood, and the neighborhood's really looking good. Like, people are really doing a lot of work on their house. I'm not just looking for a porch. Like, I'm looking to put the money in to make it look nice. Like, do it the right way. And I think it would look really nice in the neighborhood. I also, I grew up in an area where we had a lot of kids that were, my age. I still talk to a lot of kids that I grew up with in my neighborhood. And after COVID, our whole neighborhood we live in Old Manor, And if you're familiar with it, we had a lot of turnover after COVID, and now there are a lot of young kids in the neighborhood, and my kids have a lot of kids that are their age, and we spend a lot of time with our neighbors, whether it's like, playing in the front yard or in the backyard. We have an Easter egg hunt where we have parents come over. It'll be nice to have everyone together, like, have somewhere to stand on a front porch while they watch the kids, and, be able to play together and, just be able to see everyone together.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Yes, yes. So my name is Brian Brzezinskis. I am a licensed architect in the state of New Jersey. I am the architect and owner of Grasso Design Group in Manasquan, New Jersey. Now, while I have testified in front of other boards in Monmouth and Ocean County, I have never testified in front of this board before. So I hope that I can give you a little bit of presentation about this project.
Can you tell us a little bit about your education?
Yeah, I went to NJIT here in New Jersey, got my degree in architecture, and then obviously spent my time interning down in Manasquan, and I actually got my license in 2013. So I've been licensed since then and practicing as the owner of Grasso Design.
And you do what kind of work mostly?
Mostly custom residential. We do some light commercial mixed-use stuff, but mostly custom residential.
Okay, great. Does anybody have any questions?
No, that's fine.
Okay, we accept your credentials.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Okay, you're on stage.
Yeah. So to start it out, obviously we have had conversations in the past about this piece of property and what exactly the intent and the use is, and we've had those conversations over a multitude of occasions because I am her brother. So it just so happens that I got dragged here because of that. With that being said, obviously I understand their needs are. I mean, I'm in a similar situation in my own residence where we use a front porch a lot with our kids. And now seeing them having their kids and growing up, they like to spend time out there. We were just there for the birthday party, and we were out in the front, standing just in the driveway. So having a porch would be a nice amenity to many locations around multiple municipalities. With that being said, there are some restrictions. Here in particular, we have a scenario where we have an existing house on an existing lot, and unfortunately, there's a little bit of a hardship there with the fact that the existing front of the house is already into the front yard setback. The requirements here in this zone are for a 40-foot front yard setback. The existing house today, if you're looking at the plan, the right side that jogs out the most is already at 35. So the little stoop that they have today that is just basically a stoop in front of the front door is already encroaching into the front yard setback. The wall where the actual front door is, that's probably the closest to the 40 feet of anything. So with that being said, obviously to come up with a design.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Let me just understand a little bit the history. You're saying the zone permits or requires a 40-foot setback,
Correct.
and the right portion of the house, at least looking at it from the street and on the drawing, it intrudes into that.
Correct. It's at 35.
Okay, do you have any information that a variance or anything had ever been previously applied for?
We do not.
I didn't see anything. If it was maybe part of a larger subdivision, but the block and lot didn't have a previous variance.
These homes were built in the 50s, so who knows what
Yeah, I don't know.
anybody followed.
Yeah, and it doesn't appear like that's an addition
Yeah.
of any kind. I mean, that's part of what appears to be the original design of the home.
Yeah,
It's common in Old Manor.
yeah, so that conceivably the house predates some of the zoning.
Correct. And, and with that being said, obviously your township is divided into different zones for reasons. And, one of the aspects of zoning has to do with, the proximity of the property from the property line to the house down an entire street and a block. You want to create a uniformity to it. But with that being said, in trying to design any style of front porch, the difficulty we're having is that no matter what we do, we're going to be here. So now the question becomes, what's the appropriate thing to ask for? And So, I did look a little bit into some of the other zones, some of the other criteria that's set forth, and I believe that you guys do have like a residential cluster type development that does have a design for a front yard setback to be 30 feet. And that's obviously when you're developing an entire community of homes, but that kind of became part of the basis as to why we came up with the dimension that we did. So as of right now, what we are asking for is a front yard setback of 30 feet. And what that allows us for is it allows us to do a front porch, again, if you're looking at the plan, that's in front of the front door of the house at a 9-foot depth, and then to the portion to the left, which would be typically considered the seating area of the porch, that's at an 8-foot depth. And they do have a current window, a bay window or a bow window that's located there, or a triple window that's located there, so that is part of just some type of seating in front of that space on the left side of the porch. From that, again, we didn't want to overdo it, so we didn't bother trying to come up with a design or continue it across the entire facade. We already know that that portion on the right side is sticking out more than the rest of the home, so to us, this made the most sense as a logical location for it. And above the floor plan, you could see aesthetically from the front elevation, I believe, in keeping with a lot of other communities that I've done work with, a front porch has a lot of, positive aspects to it in a community and a neighborhood. So to do something that was aesthetically pleasing visually on the exterior of the home, while, maintaining the original look of the home and not trying to go with something that was too over the top or unnecessarily didn't fit with both the current design of the aesthetics of the home and the rest of the neighborhood as well. Now, I did bring a couple pictures of the original home as it is today, if you guys haven't had the opportunity to visit it. I don't know if we want to
Just
mark these.
Yeah, so on the reverse side, that was submitted, right, Courtney? So we have
Yeah,
that.
that's the plan. That's the same plan that was
Okay.
submitted.
So
Nothing
we need
changed
to
there.
mark this as A1.
And I brought 2 copies.
Just we just described it as 4 photos on one
Yeah,
board.
and I also brought copies if you guys wanted to see them
I'll take
close.
one, copy one.
Print one, and then you guys could pass it around just in case you want to look at it up close.
I just need to describe who took those pictures and when.
So these pictures are actually from the original real estate listing when they purchased the home back in 2015, right? 2015?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what you meant.
So, as you can see in the pictures, I mean, it's similar to what I have drawn on the elevation. There's just a simple gable roof that extends from left to right. There is a small portion of roof over a small entry stoop today that exists, but again, this is like a more utilitarian, I'm trying to get the keys to open the door and I'm not in the rain. What we're proposing is going to extend from the line of where the current porch is currently, all the way to the areas where the driveway is now. So, just in general, again, talking about porches as a whole, obviously we have good feelings about a porch in a lot of communities, and we like the aesthetic and what it brings to the neighborhood, and not really sure, with this being the front yard setback, any potential detriment to any of the neighbors that are surrounding. I mean, I'm sure if you put a porch just like they're talking about in their neighborhood gatherings, as happened in mine, they will come, and we all tend to hang out on it and watch the kids do what they do as they have their fun in the yard and the street. So, presenting this here today, I feel pretty comfortable from a zoning perspective that we're trying not to encroach significantly into what the setbacks are as far as requirements, and trying to do things that has a positive impact on the neighborhood versus a negative one.
Just so I can clarify the record.
Yeah.
That existing stoop, can you just give me the dimensions of that so I can put it in this?
You have to scale it out.
Yeah, I'm looking at the survey, the original survey that was submitted. I want to say it's probably about 4 feet deep, and maybe it's about 5.5 feet wide.
It appears from the one picture, it doesn't extend beyond or closer to the street than the right side of the house.
Correct. Only the steps do.
On this last picture, just sort of an aerial, I guess.
Yes.
Which is the house in question?
The house in question, it didn't print in color, but it's got a little pin drop.
Ah, okay.
That's the house in question. It seems to be very much so in line with the majority of the other homes that are on that side of the street in the neighborhood. The only one that sticks out in an odd fashion is the far, far right house, but that's a corner lot. So I think it's kind of oriented at an angle anyway. So I don't really think that that's something to look at as far as a comparison, even though it is closer to that street.
The current house is at the right side, it's already the 35.
Correct.
Does that include the movement? Because when you showed me you were going to put in the porch, it looked like you were just going to go across from the part that sticks out. So wouldn't that be just 35 from the...
No, so
Look at the plans.
yeah, we'll pull the plan back around.
Look at the
So
plans.
this, as mentioned earlier, is a plan that was submitted as part of the application. What we're proposing is we're basically proposing a new roof structure that's going to cover both the entry door as well as an area for seating. And that's going to extend not just out to the 35-foot current setback, it's going to go an additional 5 feet so that it's going all the way to 30 as the front yard setback. And then also just, a little nuance, but this portion that has the peak over the front door sticks out the most. This other peak that's nested behind it is a foot back, just for, again, aesthetic, deviation so that it doesn't look like it's just a flat front either.
So on the plans, 2 questions, which I'm just curious about. On the plans, you have, the elevation shows 3 double hungs. On the floor plans, I see what looks like a bow window with 4 windows. Is that going to be a new window going in?
No, that's a triple window. It's 3 double hungs now.
So it's staying that, you're not touching
Correct.
the windows?
No,
And then-
we're not
And
changing
then the existing porch was concrete, you said? Solid concrete?
Correct.
Are you going to make the rest of the new porches all solid concrete too? Or it's going to be a deck?
I don't even think we got into that conversation yet. I mean, I'm going to go over with her the cost of everything, but I mean, typical for me on most of the projects we do, we either find ourselves in a position of doing like a bluestone front porch, or we end up doing some type of AZAC porch decking board. So until we really find out what the costs are, I don't think she necessarily determined that yet.
Okay. All right. Okay, any board members have any other questions?
Yeah, just looking at the survey. On the left side is the double garage. And currently, there looks like it shows a concrete walk going from the driveway to that current front porch.
Correct.
What are you going to do about that?
Well, that walkway will have to be removed because that would be in the areas to where this porch is being constructed. And then my assumption is the idea would be to just move that same walk closer to the street so that when you come down the steps of the new porch, there would be a walkway again back to the driveway.
Yeah, because from the floor plan, it looks like there isn't any internal door that you can get from the garage into the house.
No, there's not.
Yeah, so it's presumably if you drive and go into the garage, you do want to get in the house, so.
I think that'd be a smart
They
idea.
have a back door too. They have a back door in the garage.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions from board members?
Any other homes in the development that have done anything like this?
On that side of the street, I don't think that there's any with a porch. On the other side of the street?
The other side of the street, there's a house that has, come forward in front of the, where the 35 setback, that right side is, and they had like an additional ramp added down to the driveway. So they did come out. There are several, like, Old Manor is pretty much 2 different style houses. It's either what I have, which is the ranch, or the split, yeah. And so some of the other, like, in our neighborhood, there are others that have obviously had to come at some point for zoning because they've also come forward, yeah.
Yeah, because just looking at that picture, the fronts are not all flat,
No.
Yeah.
plus or minus 5 feet on any
Correct.
particular house.
John, Jean, anything? Lori?
Okay, so related to the walk, so you're still going to have the steps coming off the center where the door is, right?
Correct.
Okay. And so you need a walkway, so the walkway is going to be even further into the,
But that doesn't count with regard to the setback.
Yeah, I don't-
It's not a structure.
Yeah.
How about this side, Jason? Any questions? You guys, nothing? Okay.
Have you made your neighbors aware of any of this?
Actually, two of them wanted to come here today to support me. I had to call them. I'm like, is that normal? Like, do they need to come?
Yes.
So, yeah, they're actually really excited, a lot of them, because they want to see, just improvements done in the neighborhood. So we've gotten really good feedback about it.
Okay, but that's important. I mean, even though they're not here to express themselves, more typically, if somebody gets really upset, then...
That's when they
It's
show
the other
up.
side, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
But if nobody's here, you can't tell. I mean, all of them have presumably been formally notified. So,
Okay.
Uh,
You guys have anything else in closing?
No, I mean, I just want to reiterate, obviously the reason that we came up with this is we thought that it would be a good, not only for herself as an end user and the homeowner, but also in the neighborhood aspect, because I just know from my personal experience that being out on the porch with the kids and having them all going up and down the street with the neighbors, I'm always hanging out there. So I think that it's, yes, a good thing for her and her family, but I do think it also has positive aspects for the neighborhood as a whole.
let me ask Marty a question. I don't know what notes you've made so far, but for Nicole's benefit, the next process, well, there's potentially a motion and resolution, but then afterwards, our attorney drafts a formal resolution that comes back to the board for approval, and that's the official document that documents it. So we need to make sure our attorney has all the notes and concerns. I don't think we ended up with any special conditions on this.
Nope.
The one that I would suggest is, because there is a currently non-conforming aspect of the front right side of the house, that we cover that as well.
Could, we've done that in the past with clear additions, if you will, but this is clearly something
It's a pre-existing
Pre-existing,
condition.
so I don't think for that we
It's
need it.
necessary.
If you want to
Okay.
go to the abundance of caution, you can. We've only really done it for somebody put a pool in clearly in the setback, and they should have. We want to correct that now, but I don't, if it pre-existing ordinance, then I'm not sure.
That's
it
the
makes
house.
sense to do it.
The house was built
Yeah,
in that
okay,
spot.
fine.
Okay.
In that case, so you have no other conditions or
Correct.
concerns in that regard?
That's right.
In that case, I'll be happy to make the motion to approve granting a variance for the front yard setback to permit the covered porch to be built as described in the testimony we've had.
Do we have a second?
I second it.
Okay, Arfin? Okay. All right, roll call?
Mr. Afanatopoulos,
Yes.
Dr. Blumenthal,
Yes?
Mr. Burkle,
Yes.
Ms. Campus, Dr. Latif,
Yes.
Mr. Luciani,
yes.
Ms. Gerhart.
Yes.
They're
Thank
all
you very
done.
much.
Thank you.
Simple.
Good job.
Now comes the fun part.
Yeah, most of the,
Bluestone or the executive?
in our neighborhood, most of the porches or decks are all in the back, but of course, that doesn't give you.
Community, okay.
Before they leave. So just one, before you leave, we should, for the record, note there's nobody here from the public, so
Yes.
we didn't ask anybody, but there's nobody here. We want to put that on the record.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Good luck.
Okay, moving on with the agenda. Here's my paper.
Well, I have,
Professional reports, do you have
No.
anything?
Nothing?
Okay, does anybody have anything?
not so much a professional report, but I think the last calendar received from Courtney indicated that for the early October meeting, there is no agenda. So would it be appropriate to make a motion to cancel that October, I forget what the date is,
It's
October 4th meeting? So I'll make a motion to cancel the October 4th meeting for lack of agenda.
I'll second it.
Mr. Rafanatopoulos,
Yes.
Dr. Blumenthal,
Yes?
Mr. Burkle,
Yes.
Ms. Campus,
Yes.
Dr. Latif,
Yes.
Mr. Luciani,
Yes.
Ms. Gerhart.
Yes.
With regard to the second October meeting,
We're going to wait in case.
We'll wait.
We're going to
Okay.
wait because there's a possibility somebody might be complete by then.
Fine.
So we have plenty of time for that one. Okay, if nobody has anything else, I'd like to close the motion. Make a motion to close.
Second?
Okay? Third. Voice vote. Everybody agrees?
All in favor? Aye.
Okay, Francine, close the recording.